So let's go ahead and make just a quick threaded fastener. This isn't going to be using the helix command. Inventor actually has a little library with all of the different thread types in it. Okay, so starting out with just a basic inches template, and we'll go ahead and make, I don't know, maybe a 5/8 inch diameter. Now you can either type in a number or an equation in this. Let me show you another hidden little thing. If you come up to the top to manage and click on parameters, you can keep track of all of the dimensions you're using and give each dimension a name and then use it in the future for other features that might be proportional to what you had. So let's put our hex on here. And for this one, while I'm dimensioning how large this guy is going to be, what I can do is instead of typing in a number, I can use that previous dimension I had in there. So I'm typing in D times 1.5. So you can use that little table of dimensions and parameters that you had to find in there. And everything you use in there will be, again, just saved in that little parameters file. It's kind of a handy little thing. Okay, so I'm just going to make the cap of this thing right now. And remember, you don't have to type in a number. You can type an equation in here. So I can say 4/11ths or fractions, or you can multiply things. Okay, I'm going to just carve off the corners here. So I'll grab a cross-section view, slice graphics, and we'll just come in here and cut off the corners. And just to play around with those parameters again, I'm going to type in my parameter. D times 0.125, and this other side I'm going to bring down D times 0.072. If you ever can't see something in this video, you can click on the gear, the little YouTube gear, and change the resolution of it. For some reason it doesn't default to the HD resolution. Okay, we're going to go ahead and revolve this. I'm going to grab just the axis from our world coordinate system to revolve it around and turn it into a carved surface. Okay, so there's kind of the cap for our threaded fastener. Let's go ahead and add on the base. Now I'm going to use a construction line here, project the geometry, and use that to put just a little base on here. So this is a dashed construction line. Then I'm going to offset this guy. I'll offset him D times 0.0625. And that'll just give a little lip on here. Let's see, 0.015 should work. And let's start another 2D sketch, and I'm going to pull up that previously saved dimension again. So I'm just typing in D. And let's go ahead and extrude this out, I don't know, 2.5 inches. That will just kind of make a standard size bolt here. And I'll go ahead and chamfer the edge 1/32. How about that? Grab this little guy, apply. Okay, so now we're all ready to add the threads. Now the first time you pull up these threads, it might take a little bit of time to pull up that library. But poke around in here a little bit, look at all of the different types you have. You can put offsets on there and lengths on there. Usually the thread doesn't go all the way to the top. Sometimes it does, but you can make any kind of shape or size, or threaded, right-handed, left-handed, anything you want on there. Okay, so there is part of it. I'm going to go ahead and start up a new part, and we'll make a bolt for this guy. If you go back to the original part, underneath each extrusion is that sketch. I'm going to copy this guy with a base point. So make sure you put this on a clipboard. If you're copying from one file to another, it needs to go on the clipboard. So there it's on the clipboard, and I can start a new 2D sketch. Control V will put this on the page again. Control V. So that'll match the original bolt we made. And let's see, I had 4/11. It's kind of an odd dimension, isn't it? I'm going to go ahead and add in that thread again, and I'll use the standard thread that I had on the other side. So now it's on the inside instead of the outside. And we can go back to the previous file. Let me exit out of that sketch. I'm going to copy the sketch I created for chopping the corners off of here too. Remember, View, Slice Graphics opens it up so I can zoom in and see that little corner. And again, copy these guys with a base point and onto the clipboard if you want to bring them into another file. So I'll just use the origin is usually a good spot to get that base point from. And popping over to my new file, start a sketch, and I'll find a plane that kind of goes through the corners of that guy. View, Slice Graphics, and Control V. And that will put my sketch on there again. Maybe I want to carve away both sides of this. So if I create a construction line, and we'll need to make a line to mirror this around. So what I'm going to do is just use a construction line to find the midpoint here. Midpoint, your cursor kind of turns into a little green dot. So there's the midpoint, and I'll grab that top little corner and just use the mirror command. So there's my sketch, there's the mirror line, apply, and now I can go ahead and revolve both of those sides around. Let's see, I think I have an axis I can revolve that around. If I just use, is that the what? Yeah, there we go. Make sure it's a hole and not a solid. Okay, so there's a little bolt we can put on there. If you pull up an assembly, you can play around with some of those little constraints. So just a standard assembly, and we'll go ahead and place both of those pieces in there. Where did I save that? Okay, so here's one chunk of it, and where's the other half? Use some good names to save things. You get a lot of files with this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, right-click, and ground piece of it. So I'll ground one part, and then for the constraints, so this guy is going to be, just put this guy, you can bump him off again. Now, again, we didn't use the helix command, and those threads aren't real. It's just kind of a picture that's painted around it, but that keeps the file sizes a little bit smaller, especially when you're assembling something with a ton of these threaded fasteners. You don't want a high memory complicated piece. You want just something simple. So a picture of the threads, that's better than messing with that helix command. Okay, so not too bad. Hopefully that won't take you too long and you can work on your projects.